Hi everyone, I'm Ryan, and today the Vocalist magazine is sitting down with Naadei. How are you doing?
I'm good. Always good. Yeah.
Good. So why don't, to start off, you just tell us a little bit about, I guess you're from Montreal, right?
Yeah.
And so just tell us about sort of growing up in Montreal, what first attracted you to music in general?
Well, first of all, I lived for a good part of my kid life, I guess, up north from Montreal, so like about 8 hours up north.
Oh, okay.
It's called Rouyn-Noranda. It's very Franco.
Right.
And I moved here in my last year of high school, so it was to me it was kind of like moving to the big city.
Right.
Yeah. So that's pretty much when I started. I guess I always liked music and singing before, but it was hard for me to imagine what could come out of it, being from like a 40,000 people city. So when I got to Montreal, I just kind of like stumbled into, I guess like more artsy crowds, people that did music and whatever, and then I just ended up being kind of like a studio rat. Like I was always in the studio, like, can I do a back vocal here? Can I do? Like, I was always trying to get on somebody's track, and yeah, that's pretty much how it started.
So do you have any like major early influences, people that, I mean, they could be famous people or, like you said, people that you knew that sort of really drew you in and made you think to yourself, this is what I want to do?
I always kind of like wish I could do it, but I think like the first people that really gave me, I guess, like a chance, or I don't know how to call it, was people from Montreal, a group called Naadei. And they were really generous with their time and very generous with their knowledge. So they would allow me to just hang there and kind of learn by listening and just being annoying and asking questions.
And so would you say that there was sort of like a moment, like in your when you first started out, when you sort of realized, wow, I can actually do this? Like, did you have, I mean, I know you just released your first big EP not too long ago, right?
Yeah.
I'm Fine.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure you've been touring around with that lately and performing that, but would you say that was like the big beginning where when that came out, you said, wow, this is actually happening?
It's kind of, I understand what you're saying. It's hard to like pinpoint, I think, because I've been doing it for quite a while, but always, like, I was always in school and I was always doing like a lot of other things. I think the first time I felt kind of semi-legit was like, I can't recall exactly how it happened, but I stumbled upon this guy called Booba in France.
Right.
I don't know how he heard one of my songs. I have no idea, but through people we knew, and then he got me to go to France to record something, and it was my first time like going to Europe or anything.
Right.
And the next time when I went back, like I think like maybe a month later, the song was like on the radio. Like I could hear I was freaking out.
Yeah.
So I think that's the first time I was like, ooh, hey, maybe I could actually sing.
Yeah.
So.
And so we mentioned your EP that just came out, and I really I listened. I think my favorite song was the first one, Angie.
Oh, cool.
Because I like how you sort of, you have like a track from Lead Belly on there at the beginning, and then you have
props.
Right?
For
Yeah.
you to know that.
And you're quoting the Stones, like you're quoting the Rolling Stones throughout the song.
Oh my God, not a lot of people noticed that.
Well, I was really like, because I first clicked to it and I was listening and I was like, this is not what I expected at all.
Yeah.
So what, like, was that you, like, listening to are those your influences? Were those songs that you said, I really want to do something with these?
Yeah, I'm, well, first of all, I'm completely obsessed with just like Nirvana and the whole like grunge era.
And they covered the Lead Belly song. Yeah. Okay.
And I have this thing with the My Girl song. It's kind of like a cover of that because it's like Kurt's last song that he sang live.
Right.
And yeah, I was just like, I always really liked that song. And then like going from, like, he was actually covering Lead Belly, so for me it was interesting to get to know him through Kurt. Anyways, so it kind of like ended up being just melting pot of a whole bunch of stuff that I like.
Yeah.
And yeah, me being from Rouyn-Noranda and whatever, like I didn't grow up listening to hip hop at all. I was like into like ska punk, and like I was skateboarding. I had green hair.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's a change. Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you say that you would define yourself as hip hop? I mean, I know some people say you do R&B, but like, and you have all these different people that you collaborate with. Like you had your music video with 2 Chainz recently.
Yeah.
And High Classified did your production,
Yeah.
right? So like, what would you call yourself? Is it R&B? Is it hip hop, somewhere in between, maybe?
Yeah, it's like one of the hardest questions when people ask you like what type of music do you do. I usually just run away. But I think it's just like a mix of what I liked growing up and what I like currently.
Right.
I feel like my earlier influences are probably stuff that is going to follow me throughout my life. And my influences from right now might not. So everything that's hip hop I like right now because this is what everybody hears. It's more like the pop music of our time. But when you talk about like Pennywise, NoFX, Nirvana, it's like stuff that I'm always gonna listen to. Right. So it's right in the middle, if there's a middle from those two things.
Sure, yeah. Because that makes sense, because you're going with the flow, but you're also adding these things like Nirvana. And I mean, that's So, and so I guess what I'm most wondering is what's next. Like, because I know that you've been playing shows a lot lately. You played Le Belmont, right?
Yeah.
So I assume you've been performing songs off of I'm Fine, right? And so are you going to keep doing that through the summer, or are you going back to the studio and working on a new EP?
I have we did like, I want to say like at least maybe 20, maybe more shows from the moment when I'm Fine came out.
Wow.
And now, like my last show is tomorrow.
Oh wow.
Yeah, my last show is tomorrow,
on that
from that
cycle.
stretch.
Yeah.
And then after that, I'm going back in the studio. I'm like locking myself in, trying to do some more stuff. Like I kind of like gathered a lot of like ideas and emotions and whatever, but I didn't really have time to do it properly and go in for like 2-3 weeks. So I'm going to do that right after that last show, and then I have a few more festivals at the end of the summer that I'm still going to do, but by then I'll probably have a whole bunch of new songs.
And do you know who you're working with already on the next track? Is it a secret? Or?
No, it's not a secret. It's there's I don't know, maybe it's a secret. I'll let you know when it's I'm like very, very superstitious.
Right.
I'm always scared of like jinxing.
That
so.
makes sense. So for the summer, it's just going to be sort of bunkering down and working on new stuff?
Yeah. So I'm doing, I'm doing Mural Festival tomorrow. I'm doing Il Sonic. Mm-hmm. And I'm doing House of Paint in Ottawa. Those are like the ones that I know that I'm still doing. But after that, I'm not, in between, I'm not doing anything else. Right. I'm just going to be in the studio.
Right. Cool.
Yeah.
So I guess... do you have any advice? I mean, this is the typical question, but I think it's what people are most curious about. Like, do you have any advice for people who are who are where you were maybe like 5 years ago, who are trying to get involved and trying to get signed onto a record label and all that?
Like, for me, it's probably different for everyone, but for me it was more about having the how can I translate it? I'm like instant translating. Yeah. Having the courage to take the time to really know what you personally like and like really become yourself. I know it sounds really cliche, but like go out, travel, meet new people, like kind of forge your identity so that you're very, very solid, and then after that the rest kind of follows. To me, that's what helped the most.
And then I guess before we go, just really quick, I know you had this music video that came out with 2 Chainz, and he was also featured. He did like an intro to one of your songs. Do you want to talk about the actual process of filming a music video? Like, what is that itself like? Is
Oh
it stressful?
my
Like,
God.
you know, as opposed to performing in front of people, because I know that that's stressful enough, but it seems like a really different thing to actually be starring in your own music video.
Yeah. Okay, so this question is, I think, because I had a very specific experience with that video,
Right.
my answer is probably different than if you had asked me for another video. But
Right.
this one it was a struggle, yo. Like, I can't even lie. It was like the first time we actually like got like a grant and like went the whole distance
Right.
to do something proper.
Yeah.
And I would say like it ended up coming out 7 months after the song first came out, just because the process was so like ardu. I'll just say it in French.
Yeah, sure.
So I would say, like, for the next videos, I learned to sometimes less is more, and like dealing with your friends and people that you know and whatever.
Right.
It's sometimes you get like a better finish than
Doing
when
it.
you try to make it too complicated.
Yeah, over the time. Yeah, but it came out well, I think.
I mean,
Despite
it's
7
fine.
months
Yeah,
late, I mean, it came out
yeah,
well.
yeah, it's fine. It's
Yeah.
fine.
But do you have any last words? Like last words. Do you have any like social media you want to give a shout out to? Or
I always
anything
get
like that?
I always get yelled at because I don't say
It's
these.
self-advertised,
Yeah.
yeah.
So if you want to follow me, okay, I feel like super
Go,
like.
go for it. Do it.
If you
Come
want to
on.
follow me, it's Naadei, like my first name, and Lyonnais, like my last name. So it's Naadei, Liones. It's really complicated. I don't know why we made it like that, but that's what it is. Maybe we'll write it at the bottom.
Yeah, we'll put it on the video.
And that's it. I put a whole bunch of exclusive there, and I try to keep people entertained.
Great. Well, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah.